I'll temporarily hide my webcam so you guys can see all the ELOs. Platinum Heroes, very fun team. I've got a lot of friends on the team. They've got a lot of players. They can obviously only use 3 of them. Shadan, Young Yakov, Kalazur. Actually, for them it's pretty tough to select. For us it's a little bit easier, as we have only 5, and in general only 4 of them play. Don't really expect any Roddies anytime soon. These are the matchups today. Nikich versus Trigger, Goblin versus Reynor, and Polish Art, not to be confused with Russian Art, is gonna duke it out with Serral. You surprised that Nikich didn't win the Bulgarian qualifier? I am not, because he's from Belarus. So, he was not eligible. I am surprised, however, that Nikich did not win it. I did expect Nikich to win it, and Nikich lost to the other Bulgarian Zerg called MSRM. Sometimes we call him Mushroom, but I don't think that is what his nickname is actually all about. Anyway, apparently no time to waste.
Let's get it on.
Here we go, our second to last clan bar of the regular season. This is the 3rd time that Basilisk is competing in the WTL code, as in Season 1 we lost in the Grand Finals. Season 2 we lost in the lower bracket finals. How far will we go this time? I think it's time to go all the way. I would really love to win WTL code as one time. It'd be amazing. And let's hope today we can take another step towards that grand prize, number 1. Top left side, the man from Belarus, it is Nikich for the Platinum Heroes. Bottom right side, playing these games from Korea, guys, it is a Trigger, our Canadian Protoss. Trigger is going to spend some time in Korea. I don't know how long exactly he's planning on being there, but I think for quite some time. Oh, he just wanted a different environment. He is obviously happy in Canada, but he wanted something else. And right now he's having a good time over in Korea together with Australia, Future, and of course Clem as well. If you put yourself in this round, there would have been a possibility for Roddy versus Goblin. We had that because in the very first season we actually had to play the WTL Code A qualifiers, and I think Reynor was not available and we didn't have any partnership, so I had to play. So it was a Serral, Trigger and me, and I actually had to play against Goblin. We went for a respectable 1-1. I took the 1-0 lead on Gresvan, and then I don't know, Goblin won. Probably with some random all-in game too. I forgot the details, doesn't really matter. My game obviously solid, straightforward macro all the way, baby. That may not have exactly how it's gone down, but it was a 1-1, I can tell you guys that much. Hello, Max. Standard openings so far here. Nobody doing anything too weird. Nikich has gone for regular hedge first. A spawning pool. Circling speed. As a Trigger is working with the adepts and he's gonna go Stargate. After Stargate, I'm kind of expecting Blink Stalkers out of Trigger. I feel like he's pretty happy with those. Just a couple Oracles into the Blinky Boys, +1. And then I don't know if he's gonna be very aggressive or if he's willing to take a more passive route. My Belarusian friend has gone up to 3 bases in a vertical manner, does not take the triangle as the 3rd base. Firing up a couple of extra links. A lot of the Eastern European Zergs really like making those 14, 16 links a little bit earlier. Not just to deal with these adepts, but to actually run them to the other side of the map and see if they can get a cancel on the 3rd base. Young Yakov does it very often. Vanya obviously no stranger to early links. I think Nikich likes to do this stuff too. Doesn't really seem to be the case this time though. We're just keeping them at home and making sure that the adepts of Trigger cannot find any damage. Void Ray activates Prismatic, kills an Overlord, is going to cancel it. Obviously Void Rays are a lot slower if Prismatic alignment is activated. If there's nothing for them to shoot at, it's pointless to let it run. Trigger probably pretty confident that as long as he plays a solid defensive game in the beginning, he's gonna be okay here. Can't underestimate Nikich though, he's very good. Played in the big rain bout once, an absolutely fantastic best of 5 against Goblin. It is very hard for me to say what the best of 5 we ever had was, because we've done it for 64 weeks. 64 times 4 is 246, something like that. It's been a lot of series, but Goblin against Nikich is without a doubt one of the best 10. It was incredibly good, incredibly close, impossible to call. And obviously Goblin is a really good player too. Trigger has not gone for a blink, guys. It is actually just a Void Ray into an Oracle. Into very quick Resonating Glaive Adept. This build was around a while ago, then I kind of felt like it fell out of fashion. And now it's back. And a lot of the Protoses, especially Korean Protoses, are spamming it. Nikich has gone for a Baneling Nest instead of a Roach Warren. I personally don't think that necessarily has to be bad news. Roaches are more solid, and in general with enough roaches you'll never die. Banelings can be a little bit hit or miss, but I think Banelings also give you better cleanup potential, where you can just shut it all down immediately if you get one good connection. So Trigger needs to be very, very cautious with his shades. 53 probes against 49 drones. The Adepts are making their way to the other side of the map. First 5 Banelings already morphing. I'm not certain if Trigger actually saw the Baneling Nest or not. He might see the Banelings here. You should not let that shade finish up. I don't think letting it finish up is the play. He says, well, I don't care, buddy. I'm going to let it finish up anyway. Yeah, that is exactly what I meant, guys. Those are those perfect cleanups of Ling Bane. Excellent job by Nikich. And that is not the start that we were looking for. Oh. This is often what happens when I open up with Resonating Glaive Adepts against Banes. Like against Roaches, that kind of stuff doesn't really happen. Unless it's like a perfect Roach Lynx around. This was not good on the side of Trigger. Nikich has done a very good job in running up behind this. Trigger is going to try one more time with 3 additional Adepts. He's going to find a few drones this time around. 5, okay. This wasn't bad. We're going to lose the Oracle though in the main base. The Stasis Trap did not go off. The Void Ray is not going to get a cancel on the 4th base. Whew. I think we are in a bit of trouble. I don't think that Nikich is just going to sit back and drop an Infestation Pit. I think he's going to absolutely send it with Hydra Ling Bane. And obviously Trigger is not going to have a lot of Storm available, if any. Is not going to have Colossus. I'm very worried here. Maybe Great Force Fields can save the day. We can't forget that there are no Ravagers. There's not a Roach Warren, so no Roaches means no Ravagers. No Ravagers means that we cannot break Force Fields. Trigger is building a War Prism, and I really hope that that is not to attack. He's actually moving out. I don't understand this, guys. Nothing in this game has so far given me the confidence that Trigger should be moving out. This feels one of these pre-programmed move-outs where we move out because we wanted to move out, but we cannot ignore how poor this game has gone so far. We'll find maybe some eco damage here, and if we're just trying to... Oh no, I don't like this at all, man. I don't like this at all for Trigger. Is there a gap in the force field? There is for Zerglings, apparently not for the Hydras and Banes. Does drop a couple of decent force fields, but it's just a matter of time before the Banelings are going to make it through. And if the Banelings connect with the heart of this Protoss army, the War Prism is going to get sniped as well by the Hydras. Why are we here? Why are we here? Can we at least save some of the units? Yes, but... No. A failed opening into a failed follow-up attack. And the Hydra Ling Bane timing was already going to be scary. It's about to be even scarier. Maybe Nikich getting a little bit carried away, morphing these Banelings in the front, but he just goes for it. Banelings do connect once more with sentries. Is there a world, guys, where Trigger holds this? As he drops a few more force fields. Good job against the Banelings, to be fair. Shield battery is about to finish up. We could overcharge, but we have no units left. Well, we have 2 Immortals and a couple of Adepts, but... Okay, overcharge is good. Overcharge is good. And we live to fight another day. Nikich did drop the Lurker, then did go up to Hive. Honestly, I think that is maybe a tiny bit questionable. Because if you want to be that aggressive with your Nikich, like either you play with the idea to kill your opponent and then you full go for it, spend all your pennies on Hydra Link Bane, or you don't necessarily throw away that many units and then you just wait and save those units until you can get some lurkers out. Kinda felt we did a little bit of both here. Still think the game looks alright for Nikich, but that was a pretty damn good hold by Trigger in the end. The force fields were great. Battery overcharge really keeping us in there. Yeah, maybe he could have morphed those banelings on a different spot as well, but it's all good. This is still a game. Trigger doesn't really have a good way to gun down all these banes, but yeah, we can lose all of our adepts. Trigger, his immortals though, guys, are not going to be the god tier immortals. Nice split, by the way, on all those adepts. I do like that. That's going to be great against Hydras and Lings and Banes, but obviously not so great against Lurkers. I actually think that Nikich's Lurkers are just fantastic here, because the immortals are not powerful. We don't have Archons, so we don't have those very tanky units. The first four do we have an observer here, by the way? Don't forget, we lost that Oracle earlier, guys. We lost the Oracle. We don't have an observer. Whew. Trigger is going to try to buy some time, as a few banelings were looking for connections with probes at the third, but the Trigger is all over it. And we have bought enough time for our observer to make it to the front lines. Massive adept counterattack. Nick is going to have to pull the drones here, otherwise you lose everything. Might actually lose the hatchery. What the hell? You don't often see a bunch of adepts casually shading to the other side of the map to kill a hatch, but it's starting to look like this hatch will fall. What a snipe. That should not have happened, but we will take it, guys. Any day of the week, and twice on a Friday afternoon in the WTL Code S. Risky move here with the Lurkers. Is there enough to tank for the Lurkers? Seems that the answer is yes for now. Those are slow zealots, by the way. Oh, that's a lot of slow zealots. A lot of adepts coming in from an awkward angle. Wait, I really feel that Nikich should get more Banes. I know that Banes are expensive. Yeah, he's gonna morph 18 of them now. But Banelings are so damn good against all those adepts, all those zealots, and even against the immortals, because if a Baneling splashes on the immortal, you can activate all those barriers, and that will make it so much easier for the lurkers to kill those immortals. Ooh. Pretty good Baneling connections. Those were not all the Banes. Fun game between these two. Reckless video gaming between Nikich and Trigger, but it does give us something exciting to look at. It's already closer than I think any game was between the Twisted Fairies and Team Liquid, as the lurkers are going to try to save this hatch. Trigger says, I think I can get on top of those 6 lurkers, as the immortals are doing their thing. But 3 lurkers do survive, and they are getting some devastating shots off. And now the Hydras are here to save the day, but 16 drones did fall. So Nikich takes a great fight. Can the Banelings kill that final Immortal with splash damage? Yes, they can. Whew. One more Immortal, very low on HP. Hydras really want it. Hydras won't get it. Oh, Zerglings in the main base could actually become very difficult. I don't think they have Adrenal Glands, but obviously that's still annoying for Trigger. Trigger needs to focus on this fight. Do we have an Observer, guys? Did we lose our Observer on the left side of the map? I don't see it. Maybe you guys know where it is. Still have no ups. Oh. Where's the ups? The Nexus will die at 6 o'clock, and that means that Trigger is now a 3-base Protoss. He's about to become a 4-base Protoss, but he's not going to save the bottom left side either. I don't really believe in that. We may actually have to cancel. Yeah, we do cancel. So now we're a 3-base Protoss with 1 observer. 1 observer on top of this army. 77 army supply against 88. Banger game, to be fair. Not the cleanest game of Starcraft 2, guys, but it is a fun one. Will it be Trigger who's going to take the 1-0 lead for us here in Basilisk, or will it be Nikich who gets the Platinum Heroes a fantastic start? What happened with Showtime? Nothing happened. I can only use 3 players every single week. Showtime played the last 2 weeks, and we decided to go with Trigger this week. Never hurts to use the original tree. The core tree. But our boy's definitely in some trouble. This is not the best Protoss army ever. Oh, Lurkers! Are they gonna run into this army now? I know Immortals are fantastic, guys, but what normally makes the Immortals fantastic is that you have units like High Templars with Scythe Storm to protect them. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? This is just Immortals, and this is normally where you would think Hydra, Lings, and Lurkers are gonna have a field day. Now some Zergs will tell you that all you need is Mass Immortal. And we can say that Trigger is not building a lot of Immortals. Adreno Glance is about to finish up for the Zerglings. It's gonna make them a little bit more powerful, but they don't have any melee upgrades yet. Vipers are gonna be so good here. Because we don't have High Templars. We don't have High Templars for Storm, so there's no reason to keep them as regular High Templars. There are some drones dying at the 9 o'clock base, but I think a lot of probes will fall as well. So far, no probes have fallen, which is impressive. Our Canadian Protoss, guys, I think truly needs a couple of basic High Templars because we need to land feedbacks. If we cannot land feedbacks, Blinding Clouds are going to be insane on all these Immortals. Eva's gonna go full Mixo now, saying that this game is hell for the Zerg, but I don't think it is. I think it's hell for Protoss. As you guys can see, these Abducts were fantastic. Of course, Blinding Cloud has potential, but Abducts is also always very sick. Now Trigger is gonna keep a couple of basic High Templars, but we cannot Storm. That is way too many Lurkers and Hydras to run into. Our Nikich is a maxed out Belarusian Zerg with +3 missile attacks and Adreno Glance on his Zerglings. He's working with 5 bases. Trigger is working with 4 and he's trying to buy some time. 4 Blink, 4 Storm. I don't know if he's gonna get that time. Honestly, I don't think this is a winnable fight. Reynor would tell me that he would win from this position. And he would offer me $100 to take the deal. And then somehow he would run circles around the Zerg army for half an hour and win it. As that is exactly what Trigger is going to try to do, but Nikich is paying attention and he burrows the Lurkers in time. I mean, good counterattack though. Once more, 17 drones, guys. 17 drones is sick. And now we do have Storm. So with Storm, we are allowed to dream. It's excellent by Trigger that he did not decide to take that fight. That he tried to just run away, create chaos, find damage with run-bys. Like 27 drones is a silly amount of drones. And now the game looks a lot more promising, because now we do have Storm. I don't want to say that it's in the bag, because it's absolutely not in the bag, but we are allowed to dream once more on the side of our Canadian Protoss. Couple of drones are gonna fall, Storm lands, few High Templars get abducted, but feedbacks did do their thing. There's more drones dying to adepts on the left side of the map. I feel like Trigger has killed a solid 60 drones in this game. As the Vipers are starting to do their thing. I'd love to see how many drones have died. But if I have to make a guess, I would say it's like close to 70 probably. We have 5 Lurkers going rogue in the bottom side of the map. There is no Nexus there. There are some probes long distance mining. Nikich is rich as these two armies are flirting with each other once more. Barrier gets activated. Vipers have so much potential here. We're gonna land at least one Abduct. This is where it would be fantastic, by the way, if we could have nice Storm. Solid feedback as well. A single Oracle, guys, to attack this army with Revelation would actually be kind of sick. Eba hating on the Lurkers. I'm not feeling that, Eva. I always believe in the Lurker. Oh! It didn't even know you could abduct from that far. What the hell? Vipers look better than ever before. Steph Curry is taking notes. That's how the USA is gonna win another gold medal, guys. It's Steph Curry, the Viper from downtown. Trigger is forced to cancel that Nexus on the right side as he is going to try to run on top of these 5 Lurkers, but Queens and drones to the rescue. He's not winning that fight. Saddles, however, are going to kill more drones. What is happening? How many drones do you need to kill in a single game of Starcraft 2? Trigger says yes. Alright. That sounds like a lot. As now Nikich was out of position and we are going to get on top of this hatch. So we're going to kill 2 bases for the price of 1, but that's a very strange recall. What on earth is that recall? So we save some units, but if we lose all these Immortals, we lose all these High Templars, we are still in a lot of trouble. And the Immortals will turn around, but the Hydra's gonna move forward. That was a weird recall, guys. Bro forgot Immortals don't have Blink. Yeah, I mean, 6 sniper, right? Double snipe on 2 bases. Don't forget that this Legacy of the Void, 20 minutes into a game, your main base is done. Your natural is done. Your third base is pretty much done. So Nikich has like no economy at all. But yeah, if we don't lose our entire army, we kind of open the door for that devastating counterattack. That observer somehow lives. I have no idea how that observer is living. 111 army supply against 55. Is there potential for some dream storms? Do we believe in the Dream Immortals? Yes, the Zealots are gonna slice up a couple of drones. 15 more. Oh, a single lurker run by at the triangle base is fantastic on the side of the Belarusian Zerg. 26 workers have died. This game is a bad game to be a drone or a probe, I'll tell you that much. Nikich seems to be happy with the damage he has dealt. Said, alright, I have taken out a base. I have killed almost all your probes at a different base. It is time for me to just re-establish those hatcheries that I desperately need. We'll take it from there. Trigger down to 18 workers. This Protoss army is not big enough, guys. It's not strong enough. As a lot of Obducts are going to land. Every single Immortal melts. And it is Nikich, the Belarusian Zerg, who takes the 1-0 lead for the Platinum Heroes. He is smiling. He is happy. And rightfully so. He played that very well. Rough game for our boy. And a rough start to the clan war. I mean, it all started with the first adepts, right? The first 9-10 adepts shading right on top of those Banes. That wasn't it. Trigger definitely had a lot of good moves throughout the game as well. The run-bys were fantastic. He was finding good damage. A couple of game-ending mistakes. I think especially that recall towards the end. If the entire army just retreats up that ramp and we spam a couple storms, we took out 2 bases. And it's obviously more than playable. But that recall was horrible. That recall just made it so much worse for us. Because it left all the Immortals for dead. And 1 or 2 High Templars never enough to save the day there. It is indeed an incredibly Eastern European setup for our boy Nikich. Reminds me of the days of Kos and Strelok streaming. Strelok will forever be the goated streamer with the carpet on the wall right behind him. And he recorded one of the greatest Starcraft videos in history that is unfortunately no longer on YouTube. But Strelok, after 1 or 2 disappointing tournaments, decided to record camera right underneath his chin, right in front of the carpet. I promise that I will play 20 games a day. I promise I will make quarterfinals. Sick video, guys. Strelok forever a goat. Bottom left side of Dynasty, we are looking at the main base of our Belarusian Zerg. It is Nikich taking the 1-0 lead for himself and the Platinum Heroes plus R8. Top right side, picking Dynasty. Early this season he did lose Dynasty against Chem. Hopefully that will not happen again. This is Trigger. What servers do they play? Well, if it's Central Europe, it's always west into Central. But obviously Nikich is east. But I still think it is. I think maybe game 1 is Central and game 2 is West. So they flip the order. I don't think it's back-to-back Central. But I'm not 100% certain. I don't exactly know with players from Belarus. What I do know is that I would really love Trigger to win this game. Even though we have Reynor and Serral playing and obviously they are the favorites. But we need all 3 points, guys. Yeah, these games are very important. We need all 3 points. You get all 3 points by winning 4-2, 5-1 or 6-0. I don't care too much if we win 4-2, 5-1 or 6-0, but we do need to win without an ace match. If the clan war would go to an ace match, we only get 2 points. And that obviously would allow other teams to catch up. Why not Showtime them? Because we obviously like Trigger, mate. And Trigger is a very good player. I mean, Showtime has been in excellent form and has obviously had great results, but Trigger is still one of the original 3 players of Basilisk. We believe in him. And he has done very well for us in some big moments, like taking a map of Beyond, taking maps of Oliveira. Obviously, in hindsight, you can always say, well, you should have sent Showtime. Yes, but so far, it's only one map. If Trigger goes 1-1 here, I still think we can be happy, and it's going to be okay. It is important, though, that we go at least 1-1. Showtime is fantastic, but obviously Trigger is a fantastic player too. And let's hope that he can show it to us here. First game, it didn't really go his way. Let's hope the second game it does. We have an in-base expand, obviously, on Dynasty. So Trigger is going to get a few more minerals than he's used to. Also transferred a bunch of probes to saturate that gold as quickly as possible. And we have to be careful here with our first two adepts. Yeah, guys, there's no need to be overly dramatic after one map. Astrelok, Braddock, etc. had some mini dramas in CIS as well. No. Oh, no. You mean the drama of war? I did like the EG streaming house. If you're asking me, did you enjoy the times of EG having the house and Ben sitting next to Idra and 3-rexing him on the ladder, or with a bunker walling? Obviously, that was very fun. I would lie if I say that that was not content. That was fantastic content, but other than that, no, I don't need too much drama, mate. I like the game, I like the storylines of all the players, I like the tournaments that we are watching. I don't care too much for drama. But there was something very beautiful about Ben playing hours of Dota, firing up his Starcraft stream, building a couple of bunkers in front of Idra, his natural on Cloud Kingdom, Idra rage quitting, and Ben switching back to Dota. Like, yeah, that was beautiful. You have no sense of humor if you did not think that was funny. But other than that, no, there's no need for drama on my side. Trigger is gonna go for a 2-base all-in by the looks of it, guys. As we are just warping in a lot of Stalkers. We have a lot of gates. We're gonna go for Blink Stalkers and a Warp Prism. This is a bit of a Goblin special. I think these kind of builds are, in general, more powerful when you don't have any ping. This might be the server where Trigger has a better ping than Nikich, but it's still a little bit risky to put all your eggs in one basket. But hey, if Trigger believes in the build, if he believes that this is the way to get the job done on Dynasty, I'm gonna believe with him. As that first queen is already gonna fall, that's nice, by the way. Starting your attack like this with a free queen. I mean, Nikich doesn't even bother saving the third hatch. 2-base against 2-base is never a good situation to be in. Seems like Nikich caught by surprise here a little bit. We have a couple of Zerglings that get a surround on the Adept, but the man is supply blocked. It is such a painful moment to be supply blocked after losing that hatchery. 500 minerals is a mental amount of minerals, guys, in a 2-base versus 2-base scenario. It does seem like we either have Roaches or Ravages harassing the gold base of Trigger. It is 3 Roaches, but obviously that's not that important. What is important is that there is a monstrous amount of Stalkers in the natural of the Belarusian Zerg. And as long as we don't lose our Warp Prisming into something silly like Corrosive Balls or Queens, I think at the bare minimum we're going to straight up kill this base or all the drones, and if not, just win the game. Stalkers have double Blink here, with Blink from the Twilight Council, with the Warp Prism pickup micro as well. And Trigger sets the record straight. This is a very convincing second game win. Few Roaches are not going to save the day. These 3 Queens, even if they have energy, are not going to save the day. And perhaps this is why, guys, we selected a Trigger. Obviously, it's a shame it's not a 2-0. But this is still a very convincing Game 2 victory. Bit of a Dynasty special, perhaps. And that means that we're all tied up. So all that we need right now is to win 3 out of the next 4 games. We've got Reynor versus Goblin coming up next. And after that, it is Serral versus ArT. That was convincing. That is a good way to just erase any doubt. 20% of you guys believed in a draw, and it was a draw. A classic, guys. 2 players that were invited to my Sweet 16 StarCraft tournament a long time ago. They are both 22 years old at the moment. A long time ago, they were two up-and-comers in the European scene. One had a slightly more successful Starcraft 2 career than the other. I'm obviously talking about Goblin and being part of Team Roddy for as long as he did. I mean, that's not something that many people can say. But Reynor has done alright for himself too. He did win a Katowice, he did win Gamers 8, won a couple home story cups. It's not too bad. It may not be the career that Goblin had, but it's not too bad. Let's see if I can find. Yeah. So this was an event, guys, that I ran a long time ago on my own stream. 2018, on the 20th of October 2018. I invited 3 16-year-old Starcraft 2 players. Reynor, Clem and Goblin. Because I liked all three. And I thought all three of them were going to go on to do great things. Reynor kind of dominated. Reynor was the best of the 16-year-olds, but it was a fun time. Goblin did get some money too, by the way. I think I split up all the... I think this was the base prize pool. And all the donations and subs and bits that I got, I was going to divide between the players too. And that is the day where Goblin sent me the legendary DM. Don't forget about the bits. After the event was over, Reynor DM'd me saying, "Thanks, Roddy, for running the event. That was really fun. Hope you had a good time." I was like, "You're welcome, mate." Clem sends me a DM saying, "Oh, thanks, Roddy. That was really cool. I hope you enjoyed the games." Goblin sends me a DM. "Don't forget the bits." Safe to say that two of the kids were a little nicer than the other. He was counting, guys. Eye on the prize for Govis. Thank you, Tony Touch, for 11 biddies. How are we feeling, Coco, on your big evening? 2 hours away from making your debut. Really? Are you scared? It's just fun, don't forget, Coco. Don't freak yourself out too much. In the end, it is just a video game, and we're all friends playing some games. Try to calm yourself. Life will go on, win, lose, or draw tonight. Don't tell Lino I said this, and I don't think Lino is here right now. But Vicky is a strong believer in the fact that you're going to win tonight, Coco. Vicky thinks you've got this. Don't tell Lino, but Vicky is a strong believer in the Coco. Wie denk je dat de Eredivisie gaat winnen dit jaar? I think it's between Feyenoord and PSV once more. I couldn't watch Ajax yesterday, guys, because I was playing F1 actually. I mean, that's not something that is very important. But yeah, I wasn't too hyped for Ajax against a random Serbian team, and I had the feeling that they were going to suck. It's good that they won. It's obviously good for Dutch football, right? They need the points, etc. But I don't think Ajax is going to be very good this year. Maybe slightly better than last year, but I don't think they're going to be good. So I think it's all between Feyenoord and PSV. And I think it depends a lot on which players stay and which players go, right? If Feyenoord loses Hansko and Jimenez and maybe Geertruida, we're not going to beat PSV. If we keep the same team as last year, I mean, we lost Minte, but we have a shot. But yeah, PSV is damn good. It's going to be fun, though. I definitely miss football. As we are getting ready for our second best of 2 here in the second to last clan war of the regular season. If you guys aren't familiar with how WTL Codas works, you get 3 points if you win a clan war without it going to an ace match. So if the score is 4-2, after the 3 best of 2s, you get 3 points. 5-1, you get 3 points. 6-0, you get 3 points. The points are the most important thing. Map score could matter, but only matters in tie scenarios. Right now we are 1 point below Vitality, but 1 point above every other team. So it's not that likely that map score is going to be important for us, but we do really need the points. Here we go, El Sayani.
Round 1, fight!
In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of the man who used to be a part of Team Roddy, now representing the Platinum Heroes. Already for quite some time, to be fair. I'm happy to see that he has found a new home. It is Goblin from Croatia. And in the top right side, dressed in black, dressed to impress, representing Basilisk, it is the Italian stallion, Reynor. Reynor played in the European Weekly last Monday, and he gave us one of the best finals we've had in a damn long time. With Clem being in Korea, obviously somebody else had to make it to the final. And Reynor did all of us a favor. And he said, I'll play the Weekly. Met MaxPax in the grand finals, and they had a really, really good best of 5. I have downloaded the VOD and I was going to post it. I just haven't really gotten to it yet. I've had a pretty busy week. Overall, I'm short on time. But I promise that I will upload that best of 5 between MaxPax and Reynor, because it was incredibly good. It is the kind of series that needs to be saved on YouTube. So 20 years from now, we can take another look at it. Shout out, by the way, to Ricky134 for the 35 months with Tier 1. I appreciate it, mate. So we'll take it from there. Goblin, whenever he gets a haircut, he goes pretty extreme. He just lets it grow, and then when he finally goes, oh, he goes short. I do like this hairstyle on him. I think it makes him look fresh. But whenever I say that, 6 months from now, he's got an entire ponytail again. And obviously, he should do whatever the hell he wants. But I think this is a good look on Goblin. Reynor is fired up. There were times where on El Sayani, Reynor would actually send out a drone early and he would start mining out those mineral walls and he would take the gold. Seems like today is not one of those days. And I kind of like that, because I do feel like that increases variance. There are some scenarios where you can just take a devastating amount of damage if you're out of position. You don't see units sneak to the other side of the map. Since Reynor is the favorite here, playing it solid and safe makes a lot more sense. And he knows that these are important games. Overlord was having a tough time finding the right spotty on top of that pillar, but we got there in the end. Goblin is gonna go for the Stargate Oracle first, is no surprise. I'd be surprised if he builds a Void Ray altogether. I feel like Goblin is not too big on Void Rays. I'm expecting double Oracle. Probably a Blink Stalker opening. Even though we saw Trigger go with the Adepts on Golden Aura, and a lot of the Korean Protoss players have been very fond of the Adepts as well. Goblin is smiling. So there is right now a tiny bug on the map called El Sayani of the version that we play on the ladder. So if you guys play ladder or me, there is a bug with the side blockers in the center, where there is a spot where their units can see you, but you cannot see them, and they're invincible. You just cannot attack them until you have air units. ESL fixed that, but apparently they're not playing on the ESL version. It shouldn't have a very big impact on this game, but it is annoying. I've had a couple moments on ladder where I'm like, what the hell is happening, man? Do I not understand this game anymore? So my unit's just stuck, and no matter how many times I click, you can never see what's in the side blocker. What I think Reynor is going to do is a good question. I think one of Reynor's strengths is obviously that he is pretty unpredictable. We know that he is capable of being very aggressive with Roaches, Lings, Ravagers, and even Queens to the other side of the map. I do think we already have Overlord speed. But Reynor is obviously no stranger to playing proper late game as well. Just trying to get the job done with some lurkers. I'm not certain. It's hard to say. Goblin can definitely be a greedy boy. So if Reynor would stop droning at 55 and build nothing but Roaches, Lings, Ravagers, send it to the other side of the map, it has some potential, but Goblin has not gone double Oracle, but triple Oracle, as you guys can see. And being aggressive without Queens against triple Oracle is hard. Obviously, Reynor could always morph a Overlord into a Dropperlord and send it to the other side of the map. Nice save there by Reynor. Reynor is not giving away anything. Goblins had a hard time finding damage so far. It is going to be Blink Stalkers with +1, which is kind of what we expected coming out of Goblin here in the beginning. As Reynor fires up +1 melee. I don't think it's quite that black and white, Catan Roach. Especially late game ZVP is pretty damn difficult. Ooh, Reynor drops the Spire. Well. Oh, and Goblin, right when Reynor drops the Spire, goes Fleet Beacon, double Stargate. Okay. I have the feeling that Reynor's Spire, guys, is a Mutalisk Spire. But if he would know that Goblin is playing double Stargate Fleet Beacon, that obviously is not meant for Mutalisk right now, then we should absolutely not build Mutas and we should build Corruptus. Neither player knows. Oh, Reynor could really use the scout in the main base, guys. Reynor could really use a scout in the main base. This Overseer could potentially save the day, but Goblin is gonna see it with his oracles. Spire is 80% done. Uh-oh. At least Goblin is gonna go Carriers. Now Carriers are good against Mutas too. While he misses it at first, but Blink is gonna finish up. Reynor is not gonna get into the main base. Goblin his oracles. Will they get into the main base of Reynor? This is very interesting. It is gonna be Mutas now, obviously, because Reynor does not know. The good thing for Reynor, I guess, is that it takes a very long time before Carriers come out. So it's not like you can use these Stargates right now for anything else. I don't know if we can really overrun our Protoss opponent with pure Muta-Link Bane. If they can already build 2 Phoenixes at a time. If Reynor can just spot the first carrier, that would already be massive. Does see the Cybernetics score spinning there. So that might be a little bit of a tell. Reynor is gonna try to make life hell here on Goblin by distracting him with some Zerglings and then probably pounding at the 3rd and 4th base at the same time. Mutas are gonna dive deep into the main base perhaps. So 3 problems to take care of on the side of Goblin. The first one is taken care of. He's now going to see these Mutalisk and he's gonna be, I think, pretty happy with that. He's gonna be like, cool. That means that I'm totally fine. Stalkers have Blink, have +1. Still gonna be pretty good, and the Muta investment wasn't that large. Oh, this is painful though. Reynor actually mis-rallying all of his units. Somehow we get away with it without losing too much, but Reynor lost a very painful game a while ago on El Cyane, where he clicked the roaches back and they went around the rocks. Forgot against who that was. Was that against Oliveira maybe? Seems like we're still struggling a tiny bit with the pathfinding here on El Cyane. Now Reynor at least already has a Spire, so he can just immediately queue up a bunch of Corruptus. Goblin queues up a War Prism. I've seen Goblin win a lot of PvZs in the past, where he's just on 4 bases for a long time, but he's gonna take some good fights with his carriers, with his Stalkers. This is far from a walk in the park for Reynor, but I think on Crypto our links are going to be feisty. We've got +2 melee. We are gonna get Adrenal Glands in the near future as well. As the Mutas still finding a few workers here and there. Main base is very exposed. Stalkers are here, but I'm gonna grab a couple of extra workers and it does start adding up. What I am a tiny bit worried about though, guys, is the fact that if both players max out, Reynor, his army supply is gonna be 111. Goblin's army supply is gonna be 133. And 133 army supply of Stalkers, Archons and Carriers with good upgrades for this phase in the game, man, this is gonna be hard. Uh-oh. This is honestly going to be pretty hard. There is a Stasis Trappy here as well that is going to be activated, and a lot of links are going to create a force field. Banelings are trying to connect with, I guess, some Stalkers. Not a good start to the fight. Reynor needs to start spending his money. Queues up 44 Zerglings, 16 Banelings. Oh yeah, this looks very promising for Goblin. We do have a couple of spore crawlers finishing up. We've got queens. We need the corruptors to get a good engagement on top of these carriers. It is 5 carriers with +2 air weapons in the near future. It's not quite ready yet, but it's going to finish up real soon. 1 carrier dies, but this is a terrifying Protoss army. Reynor has a little bit of money and he's still building just whatever the hell he can build. Goblin actually fires up +3 air weapons immediately as the gold has already fallen. How many Archons are remaining? Like, once the Archons die, obviously the Corruptors are a bit safer and the Zerglings can just surround the Stalkers. The Archons were derping a little bit there, guys. That actually allows Goblin to, or allows Reynor to take a slightly better fight. Yes, we do get 2 carriers rather quickly. The 3rd carrier lives. Reynor is in trouble. That fight did not go as well as it ever should have gone. 4 Ultras I don't think are going to save the day. It is Goblin, guys, who's looking very good here. The game temporarily lagged there for a split second. Adrenal Glands is done right now. Ultras are out. Can the final Corruptors kill these carriers? And we're going for the Warp Prism instead. We do get the Prism, but we've lost 32 drones. We've lost 2 bases. This is not a Protoss army that is going to disappear anymore. Yeah, an unfortunate game for Reynor. A very clean game coming out of Goblin. And a powerful timing with the carriers and +2. Means that Goblin takes the 1-0 lead over Reynor. Reynor and his Spire. Not working out. 2-1 lead for the Platinum Heroes. Uh-oh. This game made me eat my last comment. Yeah, it's never that black and white. Reynor can now pick whatever map he wants. I kind of think we're gonna pick Post Youth. Really good Protoss A move technique. Yeah, guys. Definitely time to start whining. Goblin played a clean game, he played a good game, and for Reynor it didn't really add up. Obviously he went for the Spire. That is a choice, and I think it was a little bit of an unfortunate moment to really go for it. He couldn't double down on Mudas because he knew that Goblin would have an answer for that. So then you have to transition, and Goblin just hit a very sharp timing. Played well, didn't really give any openings to Reynor, didn't take damage from run-bys. Just played a good game. It is best of 2. Map 1 was obviously not Amphion, it was El Signing. Reynor picks Crimson Court. Gives me the feeling that he wants to take that center base with the Rich Vespian guys. And Reynor had apparently enough of his camera. Maybe the internet was lagging a little bit. We did see a tiny lag spike towards the end. Obviously I don't think that had any impact. I think at that point the game was already over. The Platinum Heroes came to fight today. Nikich with a good performance versus Trigger. And Goblin with a strong performance so far over Reynor. Best of 2 works in the way that I have already described it many times. We have 3 best of 2s. If the score is 3-3 at the end of these 3 best of 2s, then we go to an ace match. If either team takes a 4-2 lead or a 5-1 lead or a 6-0 lead, the clan war is over. So we have 3 best of 2s. This is the second one. Right now the score overall is 2-1 in favor of the Platinum Heroes. Goblin has been playing good lately. We've seen it in some of the online one-day events as well. Overall just playing strong. I think he had a good performance at the ESL Masters Summer Regionals too. Gobbers is just good. He is one of the better players in Europe. And it is not mega surprising that he can take a map. But obviously a sad moment for us. Round 2. Crimson Court, bottom left side. The Croatian Protoss, Goblin. Top right side, the man that's representing Basilisk. Getting ready for that Esports World Cup. The Italian Stallion, Reynor. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised as well, Gerald. I kind of thought he was going to pick Post Youth, but maybe Reynor's had a lot of success here. Probably enjoys taking the center base, Rich Vespian Geyser, and just be aggressive. Reynor is not in Korea. Reynor has been home for almost the entire month. Or literally the entire month. Reynor's birthday was on the 1st of July and he was already in Europe for that. So. But that Italian internet can be a bit shaky. I guess that's why I turned off the camera. Reynor's birthday is indeed Canada Day. So is Baby Marine's birthday. How's F1 been today, Bruno? Anything fun happened? I know it's just practice, but... How's my boy Max looking? Is he gonna cook everybody this weekend? From P11, we're gonna win, right? You haven't watched? I'm hoping for a masterclass from my boy Max this weekend. A small chance that Goblin opens up with a Twilight Council on Crimson Court. There are some Protoss players who are quite fond of it, but Goblin is not going to do that. It is back-to-back Stargates for our men from Croatia. Just obviously didn't even have a mega opening right last game with his Oracles. He played it very safe, very cautious. He thought it was a lot more important to just keep them alive than finding damage. And yeah, if you have such a sharp carrier follow-up, I guess there is something to be said about that. Hello, Redbone. I know it's just practice today, but sometimes the practice can be pretty telling. You know, if Max is shouting, most of the time he's shouting for a reason. And if he's happy, we know we're gonna have a good weekend. Good job here by Reynor saving that Overlord, guys. That Overlord was one Stalker hit away from dying. And now it's actually safe on that pillar. No! Okay. That scared me. Slurming. Thank you, mate. Welcome. Reynor has indeed taken the center base as the third. Obviously with that Rich Vespian geyser. I expect an aggressive Reynor here. Most of the time Reynor is pretty tilted after he loses a game 1 the way that he did. Because it is a macro game, but at the same time it kind of ends like right before the real macro kicks in, where you have all the upgrades, where you have tier 3 units that you can really get a lot of joy out of. So I'm expecting a very aggressive Reynor here. Thank you, Leroy. Roach 1 already on the way as Reynor is firing up 10 more Zerglings. These Lings, don't think that's really a fight they want to take against the Adepts. The Adepts are pretty well protected. Apparently Reynor lost 2 drones to the Oracle. Oh. Goblin making a tiny mistake with his Adept. Adept not on hold position, so decided to chase the Zerglings. And then it got surrounded in the middle of nowhere. We are mining of our Rich Vespian geyser, but Reynor is also still building some drones. Spore Crawler not done yet. Reynor's Queen's out of position. This is not mega clean coming out of Reynor. Nice micro obviously by Goblin, keeping those Oracles safe. Goblin gets 4 drones, guys. Does not lose the Oracle. He's playing well, and Reynor may be a little bit tilted. Sometimes those emotions can make you a bit more sloppy. Because Reynor is in damn good shape. We saw that last Monday, that he is in really good shape, and he is getting ready. And normally a Reynor that is in shape and is sharp in the early game, you're not going to kill drones that easily. Good news is that we do have a Rich Vespian, guys. We've got plenty of queens here in the center, so good anticipation this time around. But Lair on the way as we continue to build drones. As Goblin has once more queued up +1, and Blink is also getting a cannon. I think he was worried about some very early aggression coming out of Reynor. He's even going to get a second cannon. We know that there is nothing to worry about, but it's hard for Goblin to be 100% certain of that. Ooh, for the first time I don't see a unit in the wall, by the way. That is not something that you want to continue to do against a man like Reynor. Goblin moving out, I think kind of just hoping to maybe snipe an active crit tumor there, but there was no active crit tumor to be found. Very quick, second Stargate and a fleet beacon. As Reynor drops the Hydralisk then, so maybe some good old Roach Hydra magic. Can obviously go into Hive Tech and Lurkers as well as Goblin finds 5 drones again. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned, guys. Like, this ending 1-1 is not the end of the world because Yona is very good in winning video games. But obviously if Goblin wins this best of 2, 2-0, then the best we can do is win with an ace match. And it obviously means that we leave some very valuable points behind. It will be a mega result for the Platinum Heroes, as that almost guarantees, or maybe straight up guarantees, their participation in the playoffs. Not quite yet, but they'd be getting very, very close. First carriers already on the way for Goblin, as Reynor has dropped an infestation pit and he's firing up 9 Hydras. Kinda seems like we just want to go into Hive Tech once more. Obviously, like Hydra, Link Viper is pretty good. Yeah, that's what I think as well, Limex. I'm not sure what made him change his mind. Maybe just Goblin finding some damage with the oracles and not losing them. But it is all good. Hive Tech on the way. Lurker then gets robbed. Reynor is gonna get, I think, a cancel. Nope, is not gonna get a cancel yet, as drones are exposed again, this time around at the 4th base. I mean, Goblin just keeps on finding openings, kills 8 workers here. I think it's a good thing that Reynor's camera is not on right now, because I can guarantee you that he will not be happy. Goblin has lost 1 adept and has killed 19 drones versus Reynor. Whew. I mean, it's still gonna take a little while before Goblin can just A-move and win on the other side of the map. But this has been a mega performance coming out of the Croatian Protoss. This is playing excellent. Some channel point believers in the chat right now. I mean, I don't think Reynor has even seen the second Stargate and the fleet beacon yet, right? Now we are gonna get Infestors, so we can maybe drop Shroud. It's actually not that bad. If there is no splash damage, like if there is no storm, no disruptor, I actually think the Infestor ability is pretty good if you have a large amount of Hydras against carriers. But Reynor at this point really doesn't even have that many carriers that I can say that it's good. Reynor knows that he is in a bit of trouble, so we're gonna get a lot of spores and just try to drag this game on. Maybe the longer it goes, the more confident Reynor will get. The first attack, I think, is going to be the scariest moment. The first time that Goblin walks to the other side of the map, that is where Reynor could potentially get A-moved, and that is where he could get killed. If Goblin does not kill Reynor the first time he's moving to the other side of the map with the carriers, then I do think that Reynor's late game is excellent in general. We can start getting some upgrades on a Corruptus way down the line. The first attack is devastating. It's terrifying. And that's why Reynor is getting as many Sport Crawlers as he does. Reynor probably thinks that as long as the carriers run out of interceptors against the ground army, he's gonna be okay. With his Roaches, with his Hydras, with his Lurkers, on creep, bit of Queen support. As long as the carriers run out of interceptors, he might be okay. Goblin has an 18 army supply lead. He blinks forward immediately onto the high ground as we go for it. And this might allow him to get on top of the Spore Crawlers. But there we do have the Shroud going down. The Shroud really is damn good if there is no splash damage on the side of the Protoss. So Goblin turns around. He's going to respect that ability of the Infestors. And he's going to move on a couple of the Spores in the center base while more Shrouds go down. And I think Goblin realizes that this is not quite going to be it. Fires up Storm. And that will allow Reynor to get Vipers out though. Cool. I don't know if we have any Infestor energy left. It's looking like we do. Obviously Reynor doesn't want to spam those Shrouds. He doesn't want to run out of it. At this point his NTR is still kind of lacking. We are waiting for these Vipers to get some energy. And then we can obviously spam a Parasitic Bomb. We can land some Abducts. Thank you to the Dragon Force. It's a tense game. I do think that Reynor has survived what could have been scary. There is a world where the game just ends there with that first move out, and then obviously, well, we can no longer win 3 points, and Reynor will have a best of 2 that he can fume over for a little while. At this point, this game is far from over. Obviously, Goblin is still playing an excellent game, and he didn't really do anything wrong. Just that Reynor defended that well. 10 more drones on the production tab as the first Corruptors are on the way. But we are going to look, guys, at carriers with +2 air weapons against Corruptors that are 0-0. And if Corruptors are down 2 upgrades, they melt. They will melt against Archons, they will melt against carriers. Obviously, the Stalkers are going to be powerful too, as +3 is already on the way. We do land an abduct on the side of Reynor, and that is big. A carrier for 3. Carriers are expensive and they take a long time to produce. Reynor will just be looking for these pickups, as the Rich Vespian guys has already been mined out. This is a risky spot, by the way, for Goblin to be with his army, because I think it's very doable for Reynor to land more abducts, but then Goblin was aware of it, did a good job with that revelation, and is now looking for feedbacks. He even drops the storm. He's going to kill some of his own interceptors like this. +1 carapace done for the Corruptors. This upgrade right here is the Corruptor air armor upgrade, and it's so important for the Corruptors to at least kind of match the upgrades of the carriers. Being down 1 upgrade is not that bad, but being down 2 upgrades is really rough. Carriers will just kill them so freaking quick. Tense moments here on Crimson Court. It's only been a 14-minute game, but it feels a whole lot longer than that. Goblin is rich. He's probably wondering, is there an area on the map where I can find a good fight? As Reynor is thinking of a roach run by, but those gold minerals are still up, so those roaches are stuck. I'm gonna have to go through the rocks. We have our first Nidus attempt in the main base. There are 2 pylons powering a lot of gateways there. I feel like Goblin has not quite seen it yet, guys. He's not thinking of a Nidus. He has probably seen the dot, but he just thinks it's an overseer. Nidus network comes online. Let's see how Goblin is going to respond with a recall. Decides to recall 5 carriers as a couple of the High Templars get bungled. And the other High Templars were forced to use a lot of their energy. It's a nice little pickup there by Reynor. Now Goblin is rich, so I don't think 3 High Templars is like the end of the world. Nidus doesn't do a whole lot. Meanwhile, War Prism flew into 5 Spore Crawlers. Mothership all by itself is gonna get picked up in the bottom right side. It does use all of its abilities for good measures. We cloaked even though there was nothing to cloak. We dropped the Time Warp even though the army was already there. Not quite a -400, -400, but this is -250, -250? 303. Oh, I thought it was 250. 300 is still a lot, to be fair. No, I trust you guys. If 3 of you guys say that it's -300, -300, I believe you. I don't build a lot of motherships, guys. Goblin has a few zealots sneaking through the gold mineral alley here, but Reynor has vision. Overall, I think these are the kind of games that Reynor in general is going to be okay with. We are entering late game. Reynor has fantastic late game CVP. He's excellent with the spellcasters. The only thing we don't have yet is a massive gas bank. He has 1400 gas in the bank. That's obviously not enough to remax, but plenty of gas still to be mined on Reynor's side of the map. I don't know what the resource loss step is looking like. Honestly, I think it is somewhat even at this point. Reynor had a couple. Reynor probably lost a little bit more, like 1500 or 2000 resources. But we haven't really all out battled. Goblin even getting the Tempest upgrade. Our Creation Protoss has slowly consumed the entire left side of the map. Reynor is probably kind of okay with it as long as he can just mine the entire right side of the map. Few Stalkers are going to die as Reynor is wondering if there's an opening here. Excellent feedbacks there by the High Templars. Means no free carriers for Reynor this time around. There's a couple Zealots that are going to be annoying on the right side of the map, getting on top of Spore Crawlers. And even this phase of the game, Goblin is playing it well. Serral in the chat saying this map is nearly impossible in late game against Protoss. I mean, our boy picked it, Jonah. This was his choice. Reynor was allowed to pick any map he wanted. He picked it, and he has played it somewhat passively. I believe in Reynor's late game, though. I don't think Goblin is bad in it at all, but I believe in Reynor's late game. We do land a fungal. I'm gonna slow down 3 of these carriers. Thank you, Proto. Ooh, a Neuroparasite, and we killed the High Templar. The carrier killed the High Templar, and now the carrier is gonna run into the Spore Crawlers. Corruptors are looking for one final wave. I'm not worried, guys. I am not gonna doubt the Italian stallion over here. Crimson Cord or no Crimson Cord. I mean, I refuse to complain about Protoss late game being good anyway if we pick the map. Even if it was never our plan to go late game. We can't be complaining about anything when we can pick any of the 9-8 maps remaining. I don't want any complaints. I believe that my boy is gonna crush. Reynor is 5 base versus 6 base. I don't think it matters at all because I don't think this game is gonna end anytime soon. As long as Goblin is not mining of any of the bases on the right side of the map, I don't think there is any panic over who has how many bases. It is just very important for Reynor to not let Goblin get control of the 11 o'clock base while also mine of that 5 o'clock base. If that would be happening, yeah, that becomes a problem. But if we fairly divide every single base on this map, I don't really care what pace we take them at. Those roaches look really slow, by the way. No roach speed, guys? Those look like slow roaches, right? What makes this map impossible against us? I guess the combination of high ground, low ground, Tempest having superior range, Oracles tagging the Zerg army, and Vipers being feedbacked over and over again. And then as a Zerg, if you are eventually feeling like you have to take a fight, there's a good chance you're going to fight in range of battery, overcharge, and cannons. I think that's probably what Jonah is thinking of. But Goblin splitting up his army. As the Tempest shots are now orange. As the Tectonic Destabilizers have finished up. And this is going to make Tempest excellent against Spore Crawlers. You guys can see how much damage they suddenly deal. One High Templar is waiting for a feedback. Solid fungal though on the High Templars on the Tempest. Would have loved a parasitic bomb there. As the carriers and Immortal are putting up a bit of a fight against the static defenses on the top side of the map. Goblin now is starting to get his hands on this base. And this is one of these bases. Yeah, and this one at the same time. This is everything I was talking about a minute ago. This is obviously not okay. This is where Reynor needs to say, stop right now. Thank you very much. As we are going to get on top of a couple of these carriers. That is an excellent pickup for Reynor. Not only do we get a cancel, the WTL observer is just not interested. He knows that those carriers are going to die. He says, I don't care. Let's take a look at the bottom right side. As Reynor lands a Neuroparasite on I don't know what. It's a lot of spellcasting, a lot of feedbacks. We've got Fungo. Do we have a parasitic bomb? I don't really see it. I feel like a single parabomb would have been awesome. What happened in game 1? A very sharp carrier timing. Triple Oracle, Blinkstalker +1 into double Stargate carrier. Reynor went for a Lair Tech Spire, made a couple Mudas, ran around with Lings, Roaches, Mudas. Never found great damage, and then he died to the first carrier attack. Reynor's bank is starting to be very large. Not just the minerals, but obviously gas-wise as well. It is a battle over vision. Yes, the spellcasters are often the most important thing when it comes to these late game fights. A few abducts, a great power bomb, a great fungal, and things will look fine for Reynor. But if Goblin is able to feedback them and land a couple of massive storms, then Reynor is going to have a very difficult time landing anything and taking a good fight. We have 9 robos? For real? Huh. Did I dream that? I think so. That seems unlikely, mate. With this bank, why not just YOLO Banes? Because you're actually going to run out of banelings real quick. We also didn't even have baneling speed yet. I think Reynor's main focus for the longest time has just been don't die, don't die, don't die. As we now get on top of one of these bases in the top left side. Ultras leading the charge. Few immortals showing up. Cannons and batteries bought some time for Goblin there. This Goblin also feels there is a moment to maybe go for it in the bottom right side. One fungal does connect. Spore Crawler's trying to buy some time. Is there detection? I don't see any detection for those lurkers. Look at those lurkers go, guys. Immortals are melting. Finally, a revelation did land on the lurkers. Now, banelings are pretty expensive. Can we land a parabomb or an abduct? We go double abduct. Triple abduct. We get the first carrier. We're gonna get the mama ship as well. And because of that, we're gonna get the third carrier too. Okay. It's starting to look pretty possible to me, guys. Some late games EVP over here on Crimson Court. It's starting to look pretty possible. Zerglings are feisty. Archon's not quite ready yet. Goblin is going to need a few more units here. He knows it, so he goes for the recall immediately. Is there now an opening for Reynor to do something about this base in the bottom side of the map? Knowing that double recall has been used. I guess we don't even have a mothership anymore. Goblin building 13 cannons, 4 shield batteries, 3 immortals, and a new mothership. Almost feels like we should go for the 2 pylons there, eh, guys? Those pylons scream, pick me! Come on, Bailing, straight for the pylon. Straight for that pylon, yes! Ah! So close, yes, okay. That is the first. Lings and Ultras are going to get atop the remaining cannons. There are just so freaking many. Sweet baby Jesus. Goblin with over 11... Excuse me, that's Reynor with over 11,000 minerals in the bank. Units lost resource tab, that is 28. Goblin has lost way more right now than Reynor, by the way. That's when you know that Reynor has been playing a clean game. Goblin has lost a solid 3,500-4,000 resources more than Reynor did. In a PvZ, where we cannot ignore the great start that Goblin had, that means that Reynor has played excellent in the last 20 minutes. Or let's make it 15. So many cannons. Neep would absolutely approve of this playstyle. Be like, yeah, that's how you do it. The only thing that Alex would have done too is build a nexus in the center of the map to then get battery overcharging cannons there too. If you mean caustic spray, Twitch Wilson. Corruptors in high numbers, yes, they can snipe a nexus, but obviously you have to be damn certain that it's the right moment to go for it. And at this point, our corruptor count is not that high. I think every single nexus has a battery connected to it as well. So then the corruptors can... or like the battery can obviously save some time against those corruptors, and then it can allow the Protoss to recall some units, bring units over. And corruptors are too expensive to just throw away, so... There are moments, there are games where that absolutely is a move that you want to go for, but this is not one of these games. There are too many cannons, there's too much battery overcharge, and the corruptors are not in high enough numbers. On top of that, at this point, it's just not even that impactful. If you snipe one random nexus, as we do have a random nexus there, by the way, guys, by Goblin. A forward random nexus in the middle of nowhere. Alex would be proud. Think Gobbles got this? I don't know. I think Reynor is fine, but this is not going to be easy. 28 minutes into Crimson Court. There's a silly amount of cannons, a silly amount of batteries. The bases have been evenly divided. I think Reynor can start going through the center of the map. There's really not that much static D there. This is actually something I don't think Goblin needs to do. As Reynor is gonna go through the center. There are a bunch of cannons. Cannons are gonna kill one of the ultras very quickly. Battery overcharge gets activated. I mean, 6 cannons is not that many cannons compared to the other bases. Couple of Broodlords in the mix as we land a fungal. We're gonna abduct the mothership once more, so no more cloaking for that army. Reynor is down to 33 drones. Beautiful number. And it does mean that he's gonna be able to max out on 167 army supply. Goblin's probe count is still damn high. I'm honestly still not that worried. Even if I know that a game like this is hell for the Zerg, I'm aware of it. I am not mega worried yet, because I think Reynor is really good in these kinds of games. Lings and Ultras are gonna open up that center path. Even if that base is not important anymore, it's still nice to take it out, because that will allow Reynor to eventually make a push for the natural, the main base. Infestors coming in, they are looking for Neuroparasite. I don't know if we have enough here though, there's so many Protoss units. We do land some fungals, but I think Reynor ideally needs a few more units to show up, because the Ultras are melting. We've got Link showing up right now as well. There is his shield bearer, he's gonna heal up the Archon. And Goblin will save a lot of his key units there. That would have been insanely cool by Reynor if we just had like 30 Zerglings show up a bit earlier. 1 or 2 extra Infestors. Yeah, Reynor's gas punk is becoming a serious problem. That is terrifying. I would like to see how much gas there is left on these extractors. As Goblin is going for the hedge, Reynor doesn't want to lose it yet, so he's going to try to buy some time, but the combination of Revelations and of the other cannons in the back make it doable. Reynor's actually going to try to retake the base immediately. Okay. I'll take it back, guys. I'm starting to be a bit worried. Goblin is going to spend some of those minerals on Zealots. I really would love it if the observer could click on those gases, so we know how important this base is. If there's only like 100 or 200 gas left, and I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's obviously not a base that Goblin is ever supposed to allow to get his hands on. Reynor really needs to start finding a good fight. As we land on Abduct, we get a Tempest. 1 Tempest is something. Battery overcharge, this is so dangerous. Where is Goblin's army supply? Like, this is something, but it's not that much. I'm not gonna count Reynor out yet, but I do agree that it's starting to look very, very scary. Goblin is gonna throw away some workers, which I think makes a lot of sense. He really doesn't need that many anymore. And that's obviously gonna allow him to get a bigger and more powerful army. Reynor is just, I think, lurking, and he's looking for a mistake on Goblin's side, where Goblin exposes maybe something like this. All these immortals by themselves away from cannons. This might be one of those moments. Is there a world where Reynor can finally take a green fight? Here come the Infestors. This should be a much better fight than the previous fight, as most of the immortals right now are fighting in favor of the Zerg. And this is why you don't just count Reynor out. Reynor takes a dream fight. Goblin has 88 cannons on the map, but he somehow manages to lose his entire ground army in the middle of nowhere. And Reynor says, how do you like me now? Boom! Headshot. On a weekend like this, with the UFC in Manchester, Reynor takes an absolutely fantastic fight in the center of the map. 6 carriers on the production tab. Obviously Goblin is mega rich. Reynor is not there yet. And anybody wondering how on earth Reynor is going to win this game? Well, with moves like that. Some of you guys believe that Goblin's still going to win. There's a chance. Goblin has money to remax. But these banks, guys, as large as they look, it honestly can be a little bit deceiving. And you can actually burn through it rather quickly, especially if you're nowhere near maxed out. When it tries to go for a tiny circling run by. It's very surprising by the way that all those gold minerals are still there. As the carriers are all by themselves. Corruptors in high numbers are gonna get on top of these carriers. That's -1, -2, maybe -3. There is a battery there, but we're not using it. -4. You guys still think Goblin has it? Or will you guys finally stop counting out my boy? Here are the infestors, a few neurals. Another abduct, another carrier falls. And this monstrous bank, guys, is going to disappear real quick. Great moments by Reynor, man. Because it did really look like Goblin was starting to have a lock on this game. He played it slow, he played it steady. But then that one recall towards the top left and exposing his ground army has made this complicated. Goblin's army is 116 at the moment. Reynor 172. I wonder how many immortals we currently have. I feel like we've got a pretty nice army on the side of Reynor. I don't think that Reynor should try to go for a multi-prong anymore. Because there's too many cannons on the right side, you don't break that. I like fighting here, because this is why it was so important to take out that center base. Once you take out the center base, you open the doors for yourself to just get on top of that natural, maybe on top of the main base. Those two cannons are not gonna, excuse me, those two ultras are not gonna win the fight against all the cannons. Same time we have Broodlords and Lurkers working on some of the cannons on the right side. Will Goblin try to save his main, save his natural? Or is he gonna give up on it? He really needs detection, by the way. I hope he knows that. I am shocked that Goblin still has 4.8k gas, by the way. That is so much gas. Reynor obviously does still have two very fresh simulators on the top side of the map. That base has just been taken. I think there is at least 3.4k gas left across those two. Yeah, these two simulators are very important. I want to know how much gas is left here. And this is something that the observers should really be clicking on. I don't want to say much, guys, but Ian, Blue and Pi would have already clicked on those extractors at the home story cup. Mapu and Funka would have been all over those extractors. The WTL observer is not showing us the important things in life. Goblin is taking them. Click! Click! 982. I saw it, guys. 982 on the bottom is simulator. He has not clicked on the top yet, but I assume that it's similar. So yeah, that is a grand total of maybe like 1.8k gas left on that base. Goblin definitely still has a terrifying army, but he's also lost the vast majority of his production. Do we have any High Templars right now to lend feedbacks? 1.8k is a lot, absolutely. It is 1.8k gas that technically belongs to Reynor. As Reynor walks into a stasis trappy with 4 of his lurkers. We are getting a few more observers. We are still flying around with our oracles, and I do see High Templars in the mix. So feedbacks are a play. Reynor does not just want to give this base to Gobbus. As long as Goblin doesn't have too many cannons and batteries on the high ground, it's okay. Goblin apparently lost his forge, so he couldn't build any more cannons. Maybe he lost... Did he lose all his gates and his cyber core, so he can't build batteries either? Goblin had to rebuild his gateway to then build a cyber core to then build batteries. Can we make a bet? I mean, we have a prediction already running. One of my admins could run a poll. If you guys want to do a poll, you can do that, but you can't do a channel point prediction game, because you can only run one at a time. But once upon a time, a very safe third base with all those cannons has now been completely destroyed. The pylons got taken out in the top left, so Reynor is just feasting on all those unpowered cannons and batteries. Goblin can now start building static D here on the high ground. There's your thermal sensors. 148 lovely video gamers. Thank you, Mark. Good luck tonight. Your thermal will be playing tonight, guys, on our channel. Best of 5 against Vanya, aka RotterdaM, aka Wayne. 200 buckies on the line. Still a lot of cannons and batteries left on those bottom two bases. I wonder how many resources are still left in the top side of the map. Reynor's doing some long distance mining now. I don't think there's any gas left, but apparently there are some minerals left in the top left. How did this game start? Goblin played like a god, actually, Mark. The man killed 19 drones and lost 1 adept. Just played incredibly well, kept finding openings. As Reynor takes control of a Stalker. I mean, every single unit counts, right? We are starting to reach the kind of game where every single unit counts. Goblin does get his hands on this very important base. However, I don't think that Reynor is going to walk up that ramp anymore. So I don't think Goblin should go mega ham on spending his money on this base. Yeah, Goblin still has his gold minerals. Reynor still has his gold minerals as well, but obviously it's mostly about the gas. Who will win? That is a good question. Reynor is looking for maybe opening here on the left side. We can use caustic spray on the robos. Hey, are we gonna use battery overcharge, guys? There is that corruptor ability, minus a robo. You wanna rebuild that? Good luck. You guys are talking about draws. I mean, if Goblin never ever moves out and Reynor never engages, yeah, this could be a draw. Technically, right now, there is way too much micro still possible to say that this is a draw. But yeah, if Goblin refuses to ever go forward, away from the cannons and batteries, but Reynor refuses to attack him, yes, we could have to settle for a draw. And that means they will replay the game. Skiller says I wouldn't move out as a toss. I think as long as there are Vipers and High Templars, I don't think we need to worry too much about draws at the moment. And obviously, as long as there are Tempests that can chip away from afar, as long as we've got Oracles for Revelations. Reynor can make a lot of Zerglings, guys, that's for sure. Goblin builds a fleet beacon. It's actually a pretty big investment. Where are the DT run-bys? I don't think this is quite the game for it, mate. Burn away 1500 gas into a couple lurkers and spore crawlers and spines. Risky says Goblin's army is way better. I don't agree with that at all. Near cannons and batteries is sure, but away from cannons and batteries it's not. It would get absolutely obliterated. Where's the mama ship? We've had many of them. Maybe that's why he's building the fleet beacon. Fleet beacon is done. We've got a lot of infestors. We've got broodlords, we've got lurkers, we've got vipers, and we can build a solid 7,000 zerglings. Away from cannons and batteries, I am convinced that Reynor can take a great fight. But obviously near battery overcharge and choke points and cannons, it's going to be difficult. It's not a very hot take, Winged. Everybody seems to think that Goblin wins this. And I believe in my boy. I think Reynor wins this. Ooh, was that an infestor? Yeah. Wasn't Goblin your boy at some point as well? Of course he is. I love Goblin. But Goblin is not on my teammate. I am a member of Basilisk. I mean, I like both of them a lot. And if this wasn't a WTL game, then I might even be rooting for Goblin, because normally I like to root for the underdog. But obviously in WTL, I'm always rooting for us. Goblin is getting a lot of freebies here. It's been a little while since Reynor got anything. When are we getting the heroes ready? As much as I love the Platinum Heroes, hopefully never, because that means that I'm on Basilisk for a very long time. It's by far and away the best team that I've ever been a part of. But it's nice to know that I'm welcome. I think Goblin is just making sure that he doesn't spend his money recklessly. Like at this point, it's kind of like you're unemployed. You had a good job for a while and you build up a bit of saving, but right now you're unemployed. And this is not the right time to go to Hakazan and buy a couple bottles. Because sure, you've got the money for it, but you may need it more later for car insurance. And that's why Goblin is taking his sweet time. Like, you don't just build another Stargate here because you're like, oh, I've got money. No, you're chilling. As we land a couple of fungals, but no kills. Reynor is still long distance mining in the top left. I love how all the gold minerals are still up. All the gold minerals on Goblin's side of the map, guys, they are still there. The gold minerals on Reynor's side of the map are still there. I don't know. What was that, a queen? Losing a queen is not that bad. Queens are just minerals, and we've got plenty of minerals. Obviously, the gas units are very, very important. I don't know, guys. All the pro gamers and semi-pro gamers in the chat seem to be convinced that Goblin wins this. Or all the community members. I don't think it's that simple. It feels very weird to call it a draw because there is so much playability still. I kind of think it just comes down to whoever is most patient. Goblin obviously has slightly more potential with the long range units as Reynor. Hey, we saw the abduct animation go off, but nothing got abducted. This is number one bullshit. Was it an observer? Okay, then it's that's fine. I didn't see the ups. Sometimes you see an abduct animation go off and then nothing actually happens. But okay, if it was an observer, that's perfectly fine. We've got fungals, we've got neurals, we've got everything. Goblin's gonna rebuild his observer. Lands a feedback there, killed an infestor, I believe, on the right side. That one observer, guys, in the bottom right has been money for Goblin. Keeps on landing sick feedbacks. Reynor is indeed protecting nothing here, other than those gold minerals. Maybe that's his Federal Reserve. This is technically not important. But I think Reynor also feels that eventually he's going to have to stop this somewhere. But yeah, going a little bit further away from cannons and batteries is obviously not bad. As Reynor is going to sacrifice his final workers, he does not feel like he needs them. It's going to allow us to make some more Zerglings. Goblin says, great move. I'm gonna do the same thing. They still haven't mined out the gold, by the way. There is some serious money in that gold wall. Unbelievable. The Fist of Neep. We are 48 minutes into a game. Broodlords are oh, Reynor is thinking about it. Reynor is thinking about it, and he is kind of going for it. We land a couple fungals. Where are those parasitic bombs? We need parasitic bombs. Reynor is losing so much supply. The Corruptors are very late. Ah, this was not it, guys. Oh my goodness. All this waiting for this? The Parabomb was very, very late. Ay, ay, ay. The Corruptors were late. The Parabomb was late. What have we killed on the ground? Most of the Archons are gone. 100 army supply left for Reynor, who's spent pretty much all of his gas. As Goblin is building a panic void ray. Honestly, I did not expect suddenly all hell to break loose over here. All hell broke loose over here. Reynor is waiting right now for all of those extra units to pop. We've got Queens on the way. We've got Corruptors on the way. We've got a lot of Zerglings. Still 2,800 minerals. Is there a world where the carry has run out of interceptors? Probably not. Reynor has no more lava. I feel like we can't really spend our money. No more spellcasters left on the side of Goblin by the looks of it. Reynor still has a Viper. Reynor still has a Viper. Oh, goes for the recall. Leaves an Archon behind. Leaves an Immortal behind. Well. Goblin needs High Templars, no? Can he win without High Templars? We are sort of back here. Well, maybe like we like this a lot better. I mean, Reynor has no gas. Goblin takes his hand off the keyboard. He is building a Templar, or excuse me, a Twilight Council. And then he can build a Templar Archives. And he actually can build a lot of High Templars, to be fair. Reynor still has 5 drones. Mine out the gold. Mine out the gold. For how long we waited for that engagement, I have to admit that was not a dream engagement by Reynor. It really felt a little bit out of sync. Oh. I mean, he was anything but impatient, but... Alright, so Goblin has dropped his Templar Archives. He's got 1,266 gas left. He's building another Tempest. He's building another Mothership. So that is what? 8 high... No. Why can't I count, guys? 8 High Templars? He has 1 gateway, yeah. So, honestly, I can take a break. I'm gonna chill for a little while. Because the man is now gonna build 8 High Templars out of 1 gateway. If Goblin wins this game, we are already in trouble. Like, even if we win this, if we win without an, if we win with an ace match today, we lose a very important point. We had a tiny chance to still finish first place in the regular season. But for that to happen, we need to win this clan war without going to an ace match. If Goblin wins this game, we are guaranteed an ace match at best case scenario. Goblin is gonna warp in that 1 High Templar at a time from that 1 warp gate. By the way, Reynor is long distance mining the gold. So you want Goblin to lose? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's on my shirt, mate. It's all over my stream. Yes, I am cheering for my team. As much as I love Goblin, and I have supported him with my own hard-earned money for a long time, I want him to lose this game. How much money is in the gold? A lot. It's pretty solid. He's gonna take a look at his own side as well. I think he's mining the gold out on his own side of the map now as well. It's triple layer, right? We're looking at almost 200 minerals, I believe. Gerald says, I think it's a draw. I think as long as Goblin has Tempest and High Templars, he's gonna be okay. This is quite a game. This is one of the longest games that I've seen in an incredibly long time. 53 minutes. And I would be lying if I said it was my favorite. As much as I love Starcraft, and I do like some long games, these are not the kind of long games that I enjoy. Goblin is smiling. I think at this point it's also a game of chicken. Who wants to propose the draw? If you're the one reaching out for the draw, you seem weak. So you need to be in a position of power. As soon as one other guy proposed it, I was like, yeah, deal. Reynor has already yes typed out. He's just waiting for Goblin to type draw, and then bam, yes, and we leave immediately. Oh, Reynor says, Reynor is the first one to reach out. He made the first move. Take draw off so quick. I ain't moving out, and I might. All right. He has spent all his gas, guys. That one warp gate. That one warp gate has warped in 8 High Templars. Find these nuts. Oh. Alright. Well. After 55 minutes, we're gonna give it another shot here. Goblin with his immortals. With 1 Archon remaining. 0 Archon, 1 Archon. What is it? I don't know if anyone speaks Mandarin in the channel. But yeah, it would be awesome, obviously. If, maybe they're just translating what the players are saying. Yeah, he might just be translating for the Chinese community. Oh! Yeah. Obviously, you cannot give both players a point, because if you give both players a point, then we will have a score that is not technically possible in the WTL. Ay. I've got 4 best of 5s tonight as well, guys, in the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts. If I ever somehow get caught up in a terrible accident, please do not forget the sacrifices that I have made. The comfort of my own living room behind this monitor. What are the dinner plans? I don't normally eat dinner before I have to cast, but maybe some toasties, I don't know. We'll see if Vicky can surprise me with something nice. I'm sure there's been a draw before. Like, draws are rare, but we see them once in a blue moon. He needs 2 more zealots. Reynor could morph his drones after he's done mining the gold into more spore crawlers. Or a queen. When is a good time? Honestly, any time between this game was 20 minutes old and now would have been a fantastic time. No one would have been upset if I was sitting here devouring anything. It's okay, babe, whenever you want. Alright guys, Goblin is moving out. He's gonna clean up the creep. Goblin knows that Reynor ain't moving out. Reynor's setting up a little bit of surround. He's going to try to come in from the bottom. He's obviously hoping, I think, for Goblin to storm his own army. Reynor was okay with the draw. Goblin feels there is more. He feels that he could potentially win. It's a good question, 17. Alright, chat, right now, give me your opinion. If you're a Goblin here, you're going for the W or you accept the regame? We know what Reynor wants. What would you do, chat, if you're in Goblin his shoes? Everyone is sending it. Everyone's going for the dub. Might end up losing. Full send. Alright. We know what the community wants. We know what the nerds would do. I think I would hover next to my shield battery and I would give it a hug and a kiss. And I would regame. More time with Reynor, why not? think F2A move is not necessarily going to cut it. Ooh, you have to be careful with those oracles, by the way, guys. Reynor is even going to bring the overlords. The Vipers are mega important, by the way. I don't know where they are. Reynor has a big blob of red in the center left side of the map. Last snooze, I know. All the pauses on the ads have been used. I didn't want to play any ads, guys. Ooh, Reynor lost the Broodlord. That's serious. This game needs to end within the next 6 minutes. Otherwise, you guys might miss the ending. Wouldn't that be something? Second Broodlord goes down. Reynor. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. -2 Broodlords. That is painful. 12 Immortals against 116 Zerglings, 21 Corruptors. 21 Corruptors is enough to kill 6 Carriers, 3 Voids and 5 Tempests. I mean, you have the Mothership to worry about as well. I believe you can win in the sky. Reynor should make sure that he always saves 1 Broodlord. I think 1 Broodlord should go AFK into the corner of the map. Because if we then kill the entire air army, we at least guarantee a draw. Please. Save 1 Broodlord. It would be enough. It's not like we're not gonna kill anything on the ground. We are reaching the 1 hour mark of this video game on Crimson Court as Goblin, with his Observer, with his Oracles, is still looking for free pickups with his Tempest. Reynor had a bigger army a while ago, but now it's Goblin with the bigger army as he has found it freebies. Reynor is looking for a move from the high ground. Lenzen abduct. Hey, that's big. You get a Broodlord, I get a Tempest. That is a trade that Reynor will take. Every single unit matters, guys. No units will be reproduced anymore. It all comes down to this. Ding, ding, ding. A 1 hour video game on Crimson Court. There's a couple of feedbacks land on the Queens. No Queens have fallen. Reynor thought about it. Decides against it. As the Storm lands on a couple of these screens. Not too many Spore Crawlers remaining. Tempests go very far forward. Zerglings could come in from the bottom right now. I think Reynor is setting up the surround, guys. The final countdown. It is coming. The 360 YOLO swag 420 surround brought to you by Red Bull gives you wings. Is it right here? Is it right now? We're looking for feedback. It's an abduct and a Tempest. Tempest dies. The Viper lives. Reynor's got 116 very feisty Zerglings. Not a single Archon on the ground, but we do have Storms. By the way, Reynor needs to make sure he doesn't get eliminated, by the way. He might run out of buildings sometime soon. High Templars are trailing in the back. Goblin does not know about this army of Reynor that is looking for the flank. A couple of the Zerglings are retreating. Goblin really is playing for that W right now. All of you guys would have gone for the W. Goblin, he's very clumped up, man. Broodlord gets picked up. Yes, no, maybe the Viper. Oh, the Viper takes a lot of shots, but it lives. I think Reynor really has to go soon, though. This is it, Reynor. Isn't this it? One High Templar died, only 4 remain. This is it. Here comes Reynor. Will Goblin recall? Is he gonna recall or is he gonna fight? Reynor is splitting against the Storms. The Corruptors are here in very, very high numbers. Parasitic Bomb is amazing. The Zerglings on the ground are doing their thing against all these Immortals. The Zerg army is better than your army. Where is Risky now? So easy, not even close. Haha. All the balance miners, silence. As a Reynor, after 1 hour and 2 minutes and 7 seconds, says this is what a patient man looks like. And all of you guys should never go to the casino. Because you were all greedy. You were all very, very greedy boys. I mean, we can transfuse with queens. Yes, he has 4 queens. Reynor can absolutely kill the buildings because he's got 4 queens. He needs to spread slowly but surely. Yeah. Because of the 4 queens, transfuse energy, blinding clouds. No, it's not a draw. It's never a draw. With 4 queens, this is never a draw. All of you guys wanted him to go for the W. This is never a draw. It doesn't matter how many cannons it is. With 4 queens, a viper, and 14 corruptors, we always win this. No, this is never a draw. We can spread creep. We have 4 queens. Never, ever, 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 ever a draw. It will be slow, but it will... Yeah. It's all... Reynor, the goblin knows it. GG. GG! Reynor ties things up! Honestly, I feel like timing out some of these people that were just balance fighting. Oh, not even close, Roddy. Not even close. Reynor says, look at me now! By the way, guys, we have 2 more games to go. Oh, what a final fight. What an engagement. The drama here in the WTL Code S as Reynor ties it up. 1 best of 2 remaining. It is Polish art, not to be confused with Russian art, who's gonna duke it out with the great Jonas Sutala. Whew. That was a game. That was a game. 7% of you guys thought this was going to be a draw, and it is a draw. Goblin with a very strong performance. And he went with the advice of chat. We go for it. We go for the dub. We don't settle for the regame. Goblin went for it, and unfortunately could not get it done. Art versus Serral is our final best of 2. 2-0 Art, Polish P. 2-0 Serral, Finnish Z. Or 1-1 draw. We need a 2-0 here, guys, for a Serral. That would be awesome. If we get a 2-0, we get the full 3 points today against the Platinum Heroes. If it is 1-1, we go to a best of 1 ace match. If it is 2-0 for Art, it obviously means that they win 3 points. I'm gonna take a tiny break. I'm sure that you guys understand that. That was a lot of talking. I also really need to take a break. Thank you guys all for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It was something. It was something. I'll be right back, guys. Couple minutes, and then we'll continue. Why is Risky so quiet now, guys? I don't get it. So much wine. So much conviction. Trying to make fun of me. Why are we so quiet now? I don't get it. Is it because he was wrong? That is not what happened, my friend Risky. We can play the victim card now. You were making fun of me. Posting your forehead, 4D, smiley, whatever it was. Well, all I said is that I thought it was going to be close. And you were posting smiley faces by making it seem like I was out of it. By saying it was close, and it turned out to be close. Well, we can play the victim. Or we can just say, GG, what a game. What a victory. As obviously the clan war is far from over. As it is now coming down to our absolute final best of 2. Top left side, it is the Finnish phenom himself, Basilisk Serral. Bottom left side, the man who shares a nickname with a very good Russian Protoss from Novosibirsk. But that's not him. This is the Polish version. It is Art. I'm just gonna finish my toast real quick, guys. Sorry. I have a long day, and that was a mega long game. First minute of PvZ. Hopefully you guys can do it without me. And then I'm back. And we're gonna see if Yona can do what he has done so far throughout the entire season. Nothing but wins. Nothing but wins. Alrighty. I did my best to keep it short. It was just a ham and cheese sandwich, nothing else for whoever was asking me. And then I put very spicy sauce on it because I love spicy. You can make everything spicy in life, even a ham and cheese sandwich. So the big brain bouts is supposed to start in 36 minutes. I actually think we're gonna make that. So that just means that we don't have a very long break today. That is nice. Holy smokes, that is an early fleet beacon. Art is like, wow, that looked so fun what Goblin was doing. I'm gonna do the same thing. Serral, however, has already scouted it. And Serral's also probably thinking, holy smokes, that is an early fleet beacon. Can you tell us something about Art? Art is good. Probably on average 6,300 MMR on the European ladder. He's been around for a long time. He's in his early 20s. He's a good late game player. Pretty honest, pretty straightforward overall. He's just one of the many very good Protoses we have in Europe. And apparently we're gonna open things up with double Stargate Tempest. Well, that definitely is a build. There was a time that these Tempest openings were pretty popular. I think even on, what was it? 2K Atmosphere, as the map was called. Yeah, we saw them try it for a while. I personally don't really believe in this stuff all that much. But that's because I always lose with it. Maybe Art can do a lot better. He's even going for the Tempest upgrade. Would be surprised if Serral does not drop a Spire here. To me, a Spire would make perfect sense. You can obviously just build some Queens at first. You buy time with the Queens and then you try to get the Spire online. You make a couple of Corruptors. Once Corruptors are out, Tempests have to be recalled. And that really is all there is to it. Even if the Tempest are going to have the range advantage soon over the Queens for a little while, they may get a Queen and they may get a drone. I don't think that Art can really get ever enough done here. The Serral's economy is already so freaking large. We're looking at 67 drones. As long as we don't lose the Spire, we're always okay here. I don't think we are in danger of losing the Spire. I don't think the Observer really showed us where the Spire is built. Art already has a few gateways coming online behind this. And a Twilight Council. I'm honestly not totally certain where this is going. We are 20 workers behind at the moment. We're making 2 Sellers and a Stalker. I'm still not certain where it's going. Spire is about to come online. I think it's coming online there in the back of the Natural. And that means that Serral can now start queuing up his Corruptors. And we're looking at a 3-base, soon to be 4-base Serral. With 67 drones. We've barely lost anything. Loses a Queen here. Yeah, obviously this is not good enough for Art. Art needs a lot more. It's gonna get a second Queen. 5 Tempest is a magical number, but this is where those Corruptors are on the way. And once the Corruptors are out, you have to recall. This is not a fight you can ever take, Art. Art has to know that. He's going for 2-base Blink, by the way. The Corruptors are here. Needs to recall. Will recall. Probably still lose 1 Tempest. No, saves all of them. Okay. But yeah. The problem is, guys, now we're 7 minutes into a game. We are a 2-base Protoss that is making a couple of Blink Stalkers without any upgrades. We have 49 workers. And we're playing against the great Iona Sutala, who's on 4 bases and has 68 drones. This is basically how my Tempest openings go. And I don't even do them against Serral. I do them against Zerg players that are ranked a whole lot lower. And I can't really get it done. I do like that Art tried something funky, something crazy, and yeah, maybe if Serral wouldn't have scouted it so quick, it could have gone somewhere, but I'm afraid that this game is not really going anywhere. Hello Jadak, thank you so much mate for the 6 months of tier 3. +1 melee on the way as Serral has taken a very commanding lead here. And for the first time in this entire clan war, it's starting to look like Basilisk will take the lead. As we were down 0-1 and we were down 2-1. And here in game 5, things are looking mighty fine. There's really just, there's no universe, guys, where the Stalkers of Art can put up a great fight. No matter how good your Blink Stalker micro is, I think there is just going to be way too much Zark. We do have the Tempest that can obviously help a little bit. Serral should take out that battery, and he is going to take it out. Zarklings are going to start working on the Stalkerinas on the left. We can even use the Ravager Corrosive Ball for the Tempest, and there we go. Serral gets a very good connection. The Stalkers are definitely doing their best, but the third base is dead. Every single Tempest will fall. And with that, for the first time today, we have taken the lead. In Yona, we always trust. Art can pick any map he wants, even if the maps have already been picked. So I expect him to go for Dynasty here. He's smiling a little. Art is a very nice guy. We've had him a couple times in the Basilisk Big Brain bouts as well. He always put up great games. He's always very polite. I like him a lot. And it is indeed going to be Dynasty, guys. So Serral is gonna have to win a ZVP on Dynasty to give us the full 3 points. A lot of people last week said like, oh, Basilisk, 2 easy play days left, just 2 times 3 points. It is never that easy, guys. And I think today showed that all these teams, especially playoff contending teams like Platinum Heroes, are really good, full of good players. And this has been an incredibly tense and close competitive clan war. But it's starting to look good for us. Very, very good. Even though Dynasty is scary. It is 5 Tempest, yeah. I think that's one shot a Queen. Here we go, Mr. I don't know why I said Mr. I was reading something that was very distracting. Potentially the final round. Obviously not the final game of the day. We've got 4 more best of 5s. A lot of people seem to be very excited about the Big Brain bouts tonight, which makes me awesome. This could be the final game of WTL Code S today. We obviously watched Team Liquid against Twisted Fairy as well before this. If Serral wins, it is all over. If Art wins on Dynasty, we'll go to an ace match. I don't have a round 5 or round 6. I guess we can just do nothing. We'll do nothing. Top right side, guys. The Polish Protoss Art is going to go for a high ground pylon, high ground gateway. In the bottom left side, representing Basilisk, we are looking at the main base of Serral. Serral, of course, in excellent shape at the moment, as we are a couple weeks away from the biggest Starcraft tournament in history. And Jonas got his eyes on it. Even for Serral, that is going to be a very exciting one. How are we feeling, Reynor? I saw you type something, but I kind of missed it because there were so many messages coming in very quickly. Says fuck me, man. That's all? Okay. What a game. Were you surprised when he didn't accept the draw offer, or did you think he would go for it? I asked chat, and 99% said he should go for it. Go for the dub. Everybody wanted to see him go for it. Yeah, he was spending it very slowly and wisely. 1 High Templar at a time, because he had to rebuild everything. And then he had enough gas left to build 8 High Templars of 1 Warp Gate. Yeah. It was one hell of a game. ArT has gone for the in-base expand, just like we saw Trigger take the in-base expand earlier today here on Dynasty. That was the same clan war, guys, believe it or not. It was hours ago, but... Now Trigger obviously played it a bit different. He went for 2-base, 8-gate, Blink Stalker, War Prism all in. ArT is going to open things up here with a Stargate and play a relatively normal game by the looks of it. Serral has gone up to 3 bases as he's taking the base at 9 o'clock. What makes Dynasty such a good Protoss map in general is just that Protoss has access to the gold. Zerg players can't really take the gold because they can't keep the drones safe against Adepts, Stalkers, even Oracles, etc. And then a lot of the tier 2 timings of Protoss, they just hit a little bit harder than they would on every other map. And that's why a lot of Zergs really hate it. And obviously there's no run-by potential either against the Protoss that's sitting on 2 bases. ArT, his probes are not mining from the gas yet, guys. Okay, he has fixed it now. Was distracted by that Overlord by the looks of it. He's just gonna go up to 3 bases. It's all honestly very standard. Okay, now we see the first thing that's a little bit different than we see it on most other maps. ArT goes double robo. After Stargate 3 base, it is double robo. No Twilight Council, no Forge, just double robo immediately. Because ArT really wants to battle these queens. There is a Spore Crawler in the main as well. Gets 2 workers. I'm gonna get a Forge now. No, I don't think that ArT is planning an all-in. I think he's hoping that Serral is gonna attack him with a lot of roaches and he's gonna be ready with a lot of Immortals. Needs to be very careful with these Oracles. So far he is. And a couple extra gateways coming online as well. It's difficult for Serral to scout. I don't know if we have like an Overlord or an Overseer on the other side of the map. The lair is not done yet, so definitely no Overseers. I guess we're just waiting. But as long as Serral is droning, this doesn't have to be problematic or bad. He is most likely going to face a very powerful Protoss army in the near future. Okay, now we see a lot of gateways coming online and there's no Twilight Council yet. It's starting to look like ArT wants to absolutely go for it with double robo and then like 7 gate all in. War Prism, Immortals, Sentries and basic gateway units. No upgrades from the Twilight Council, no Archons. I think this is just it. Gonna have a big and powerful army. The Oracles are super important though, ArT, as he loses one of them here. Okay, now he's gonna get some extra gases. I'm actually surprised by that. I thought we were just gonna send it. Single Zergling Scout of Serral doesn't manage to get up to the high ground. The Overseer Scout here though could be massive. Serral's building 7 drones right now. He does not need those 7 drones. Maybe if those were it, we need nothing but units. Oh, he builds even more, I believe. We need nothing but units on the side of Serral. There's a big and powerful Protoss army is gonna head his way. Can ArT cause a big upset and send it to an ace match? Or will it be Serral who's gonna secure all 3 points for us? Overseer now knows what's up, but the army is already here. Ravages are mega important because we need corrosive balls to take out these force fields. At this point, ArT's army is honestly pretty powerful, guys. But every second that goes by is a good one for Serral, who's going to try to buy some time with the queens. Maybe spamming in just a couple of corrosive balls from far away. Killed his own creep tumor there. Unfortunate. Spore Crawler is useful. Can keep the Oracle at bay, can keep the War Prism at bay. First Spore is gonna fall. Serral, his army supply is climbing while these battles are happening, and he's starting to find some pickups already. I see a Sentry dying, an Adapter dying. More Sentries are very exposed. And this Zerg army, guys, is just getting bigger and bigger. And ArT cannot spend his money. He's been too worried about losing the Prism, and he's still going to lose the Prism now here in the end. It is Serral who just once more looks invincible. Always has an answer for whatever people throw his way. As he kills every single Sentry, every Immortal and the Zealots. And after a very long clan war, he secures the victory for us. All 3 points will go to Basilisk. Short and sweet in the end, guys. I believe we had a bit of a banger on Crimson Court in the middle of all of it. but it was short and sweet in the end. 2-0, that means final score 4-2 for us. Maybe not the best one when it comes to map score wise, but hey, we get the 3 points. And the 3 points are definitely the most important thing. You guys all voted for a 2-0 for Serral. Complete prediction. Strong performance by Yona per usual. Means, by the way, that he is still undefeated in this season of the WTL Codes. He hasn't played a crazy amount of games. These are the stats, in case you guys are curious about it. About everybody that has played throughout this season. Maru has an insanely good win record. 17 wins and 1 loss. Hero, obviously, Beyond and Max Specs all having a very strong season too. We've got the Reynor over here, 14 and 6. And here we've got Serral. I think he was 6-0 and he's now 8-0. Or was he 8-0? Is he now 10-0? Either way, he was big, he was powerful, and he's still undefeated. Is there anybody else who's somehow still undefeated? All these guys. I guess Serral is the only undefeated player left in the regular season that has actually won a game. Yeah, strong Besian. I mean, Goblin too, 10 and 7 is actually pretty damn sick, no? Thank you, RotterdaM, for the raid. Hope you had a fun day. Obviously, guys, we are nowhere near done. In 20 minutes, it is time for another edition of the Basilisk Big Brain Bouts. I guess we can already start our prediction for that one. Coconut Games versus Lino. Best of 5, 75 buckies.